Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Gamejolt, and today I am going to show you my strategy for how to defeat Inner Tails boss on Sonic.exe Tower of Millennium Part 1. Now, I've seen comments around YouTube and Gamejolt that they have difficulties beating Inner Tails boss, which is the final boss of the game to Sark and second to final boss with Metal Sonic and Diana. And for this video, I'm going to be showing my strategy on how I managed to defeat Inner Tails, and I hope it helps some of you guys out as well. Because I've seen comments on Gamejolt about, oh, please give me the code to part 2, can't defeat Inner. I even commented once before I came up with the strategy. I commented difficulty for Inner, literally impossible. It's possible, you just need lots and lots of practice, and I'm here to show you a strategy, the strategy that I use to defeat Inner on phase 1 and 2. Bear in mind, I'm going to be playing as Diana for this video. The only thing I don't know about this game in general, Sonic.exe Tower of Millennium Part 1, is how to defeat Inner playing as Sark on phase 3. I know phase 1 and 2 really well, but not phase 3 as much. I know how to dodge Inner's attacks on phase 3, but I don't know the timing of when to go in for the attack because, as you might have seen on my last live stream, when I felt I fairly hit Inner, he just bounced me back, rejecting the hit anyway. So, without any further ado, let's dive right on in to my guide on how to defeat Inner Tails on Sonic.exe Tower of Millennium Part 1. Let's begin. So I'm playing as Diana for this video, and I actually complete Inner in 2 attempts. Because the reason being for failing the first attempt, on phase 2 I jumped too late, and that's when Inner got me. And as you probably know, on phase 2 of Inner, touching him at all when you're not rolling, and even at all when he's spinning around his tails, one little touch from him and it's instant death. So, yep, I'm going to be playing as Diana for this video, and I'll be showing both attempts at phase 1 and the one attempt at phase 2, which I do manage to defeat him. So, and I'll pause the video so I can guide you through what I'm doing. So let's start. See right here, I took the hint from the game, which it bounced me to the left. And staying in the left is the strategy I use to defeat Inner on both phase 1 and 2, and actually kind of phase 3 as well. But at the very start, I'm bounced to the left, and I take the hint from the game. Alright, so what I do here is, while I'm standing way over there and Inner is somewhere within this battle ring, I use the down button to roll, and you have to listen for when he shoots his ray gun. And take note of how far the blast is. For example, if he blasts it from afar, and you press the down button, it makes the sound. If you have to jump what seems like about more than a second or two, then that means he's far away and you can't go in for the attack yet. So basically what I'm doing is, at this point, I am rolling to make him keep shooting his ray gun. And if it's within a close proximity, then I can go in for the attack. See right there on that last blast, I pressed the down button, and it took me about 2/3 of a second to jump, which means he's in close proximity, which means I can go in for the attack. I'm anticipating here that he will run in my direction towards me to the left. So I'm jumping, and it's around this spot over here. This second purple spot on the flooring here is where I usually hit him. That's usually my hot spot for where I hit him if I'm lucky. So what I did was, I pressed the down button from my corner, and his ray gun was within close proximity, which means he's close nearby, and I'm anticipating he's moving towards me. So I jump here, and right there, around that spot, that second purple spot on the floor is usually where I try to hit him at. This time, I anticipated correctly. He was moving towards my direction, and I managed to get in a hit. Now, you have to be really precise here. Sometimes it's possible that you will miss him. Sometimes he won't move in the direction you're expecting, and it's really hard to hit him. You have to be really careful around here. That's why I usually go for going in for the attack around this second purple spot on the floor. And what I do after immediately hitting him, I jump back to my corner in anticipation that he might move the other way, because that happens sometimes. He'll change up his attack patterns by either moving the other way, or by jumping, or by flying with his tails, or simply shooting the ray gun again. So I just went in for the attack and got a hit. And the moment I did that, I went back to my corner. This time, I did the same strategy again from my corner. I pressed the down button to trigger him to shoot the ray gun, and he shot it within a close proximity, and I went in for the attack around that second spot from the left of the purple flooring. The second purple spot from the left on the flooring. And as you saw, I jumped, anticipating he would move my direction, but he didn't. He moved the other way, so that means I have to go back to my corner, and now I'm doing the same strategy again. What I'm doing here at this point, I am rolling and taking note of how far the blast radius is. So if it takes about a second or two or longer than usual to jump, then that's how I know he's far away, and I have to keep doing this over and over again until he's close nearby. And there it is right there. I did it again. I kept using the roll feature after jumping each of the ray blasts. And each time I rolled to trigger the ray blast, I took note of how close he is. And if it seems like he's close by, then I jump from my corner to around the second purple spot. It's not an exact spot, but it's my hot spot, around the second purple spot on the flooring. And I anticipate that Inner will move in my direction, which he did at this point, at which point I can go in for the attack, if you're accurate enough. Because sometimes it's possible that you'll miss the hit because he's running so fast, and you're not precise sometimes. But that does happen sometimes, even to the best of us. Alright, I did my same strategy again. He ran to the right, close or far enough where I think he should be. Then I used the down button. And then when the ray blast was close by, I jumped it, and then I went in for the attack, anticipating he would go my direction, but he didn't. He went the other way. So now I go back to my corner and keep rolling until the ray gun blasts are within close proximity, which is about 2/3 a second. And there we go. That's how I defeat Inner on phase 1. Now I'm going to fast forward to the second attempt because I failed on phase 2 on the first attempt by jumping too late. So let's recap my strategy again. So what I do is I take the game's hint, which bounces me to the left, and then I immediately start rolling. And then when I'm at my corner, I keep rolling and I take note of the blast radius, of how close in proximity that Inner is. If it takes me more than about 2/3 a second to jump over the ray gun blast, then I keep rolling after each jump until he is within close proximity. Then I can go in for the attack. See, there it was again. I used the down button to roll, took note that the blast radius was within close proximity, anticipated Inner would be running towards my direction, and then I went in for the attack and I managed to get a hit. Although sometimes not everyone's perfect. Sometimes he could be running in directions you don't expect, and you get hit and causes you to lose a ring. There was the strategy yet again. You see what I'm doing? I'm rolling from my corner, and if the blast radius is within close proximity, then it's my opportunity to go in for the attack, anticipating that inner will move towards my direction. The moment I hit him, I try to go back to my corner as best as possible. Because like I said, sometimes he will run the other way, and that's something I need to anticipate. And when I see he is running back to where I hit him from before, that's when I can use the rolling button to trigger his Ray Blast again, as you can see here. And I went in for the attack and hit him yet again. This time, I couldn't go in for a third hit in a row because I anticipated he would run towards my direction, but he moved the other way. So now I have to go back to my corner and keep rolling until the blasts are within close proximity again. See, it happened again. The blast was within close proximity. I went in for the attack, anticipated he would be running towards my direction, but he ran the other way. Another thing. Sometimes after a time, after you hit him, or if he's been running around for a short time, hitting him does not count as stopping time or his progress before he does something else. So sometimes when I hit him, I need to anticipate the fact that he will be jumping up to fly as well. And when he does fly, when he flies towards my direction, I anticipate he will drop down at the very left. So gotta listen for when he jumps, because he makes the same jumping sound as your character does when he's getting up to fly. So he's flying right now. And there it was. He dropped down at the very left, just like I had anticipated. And when I saw he was flying towards me, I try and run the other way in anticipation that he will land very soon and where I don't want him to land, which is why I run the other way. And then when he shoots his ray gun within close proximity again, I jump the blast, and if I'm lucky enough, even if he's running the other direction, it's still running towards my direction, and I try and go in for the attack, because the blast was within close proximity, and then I can go in for the attack. And it worked! Now, move on to phase 2. What I do here at the start of phase 2 is wait about around half a second to a second. Then I start moving to my corner again. Most of the time, waiting about between half a second to a second works, depending on where I knock in or out on at the end of phase 1. At the start of phase 2, he moves to the left and then to the right, which is why I wait about half a second before starting to move. And then after I move, I jump about a quarter of a second after running, soon after I start running. And most of the time, I do manage to jump over inner to get back to my safe little corner. Now what I'm doing at this point is I am waiting for inner to return so I can go in for the attack. If it seems like he's taking a while to get back to your corner, that likely means that he is stopped somewhere off screen to the right. But I'm not going all the way to the far right in my strategy. So what I'm doing now is I'm waiting for him to come back here and start running the other way. And sometimes if I'm lucky enough, when he comes back in my direction and starts running the other way, and he goes off screen, that's my opportunity to go in for the attack. When I see that he's off screen, when I'm near the end, when I'm near the right side of the screen, that's when I start rolling in the hopes that he's there, just stopped, waiting for me to attack him. Sometimes hitting him could be risky because when you hit him by rolling, it bounces you to the left, I think. And I think it's better safe than sorry. So for this reason, he was too close to the corner, and for that reason, I did not hit him. So what I did was double jump in anticipating that he would move again very soon. But if I were Metal Sonic, that probably wouldn't work because that's something you need to predict on your own, the timing of when Inner might start moving again after he stopped. See, what I did was, when Inner started running off screen again, in the hopes that he would be there, I started rolling when I was near the end of the right side of the screen and rolled for about 3 or 4 purple spots on the floor following. The reason I don't roll all the way too far to the right is because he could possibly still be moving, running around, and I might run into him while he's still moving around. That's why I don't go very far when I'm doing this rolling strategy. Another thing too, you need to prepare for him to stop right in your path, and if he does, then you can just bounce on his head, run a little bit to the right, wait about 1/4 of a second, or about a second, not sure. You have to predict this part on your own, but you have to predict when Inner might start moving again. So he stopped in my corner, I hit him on the head, and then I moved a little bit to the right. And then I will jump to the left in anticipation that Inner will start moving again really soon. So now here I am back at my corner. I'm just going to repeat the strategy again until I win this fight. See, it happened again. He stopped right before my corner and I managed to get in the hit. Unfortunately, I was not bounced into him, but I jumped assuming he would start moving again really soon, but he didn't. But when he did start moving again, I thought I would be caught up in his tail, so that's why I double jumped. With Metal Sonic, you have to be a lot more careful. You have to predict more accurately about when he's going to move, but it's not something you know for certain unless you really studied this boss thoroughly. See, there it was. The moment he started going off screen to the right, and I started to go toward the end of the screen, that's when I started rolling to around the fourth purple spot on the floor off screen, and that's where Inner is standing right now, coincidentally, so I managed to get in the hit there. And there we go. That's my strategy on how to defeat Inner Tails, Phase 1 and 2, on Part 1 of Sonic.exe Tower of Millennium. Thanks very much for watching, and I'm going to end the video here. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for push notifications so you don't miss a thing. Thank you very much for watching. This is Gamejolt, signing off. Good night, everyone!